Hey, it's Adrian, and if you're looking for a gaming monitor, you're going to want to check out this MageDok 16-inch 2K monitor. So this has up to 144 Hz refresh rate, a 1 millisecond response time, there's touch functionality, built-in speakers, and 178 degrees viewing angle, making it perfect for gaming and mixed media use. I've been really loving the screen performance and touch functionality on here, whether it's connected to my PS5, laptop, or phone. So let's take a closer look at how well it performs, and a big thanks to MageDok for sending us out for a review. In the box, we have the 16-inch MageDok monitor along with a protective soft sleeve. There's a USB Type-C to Type-C cable, full-size HDMI cable, manual, mounting screws, power brick, Type-C to Type-C cable for the power brick, and a Type-A to Type-C cable along with a stylus. The monitor looks really nice and premium, and it feels good in the hand, coming in at around 1 kilogram or 2.3 pounds. Now on the left side, we have a headphone port, USB Type-C port, which is used to supply power, full-size HDMI port, which is usually rare to find on portable monitors. There's also a full power USB Type-C port for display and charging, and then we have a mini display port. On the other side, this is where we have the button controls for the menu access and just quick settings for volume up, down, brightness, etc. Now you can see the metal finish on here. It has kind of a matte type of look, but it's very smooth, so it's not exactly polished, but it looks really nice. Overall, it's a nice looking monitor. Now on the rear, we have a 75 by 75 millimeter mounting area here, so you can do VESA mounting if you like. There's two speaker grills right here, and then we have a kickstand, which is nicely frictioned. You can see it took me a while to just kind of pull that out. Very stiff, so you know, whichever angulation you put this in, you're guaranteed is just going to stay there. So this is the extreme angulation, and then you can have it angulated so it's pretty much standing almost upright. We do have a touchscreen monitor, and you can see that I've left quite a bit of fingerprints on here, so something to be mindful of if you plan on using it as a touchscreen. There's also an included soft sleeve for the monitor, so you can just take it with you on the go whenever you're on the road or going on vacation. Here's a quick look at some of the specs. Feel free to pause or jump ahead to the next section. I've connected the MageDok monitor to the left side of my laptop, so you can see if I go into the settings here and I click on identify, you could see the placement here, and I've just set it to extend my display, so I could just take like an image I'm working on and just pop it over here, or while I'm working on my laptop, I could just have, you know, YouTube playing on here. Special pair of headphones, these are and that audio you're hearing is coming from the speakers built in on a monitor, which are firing from the rear. You can also choose the option to duplicate the display, and that way if you're giving a presentation at a meeting, then you can have the exact same thing appear on both screens at the same time. Note that I've only connected my laptop using the USB Type-C cable that's supplied going into my laptop, and the laptop is completely powering the monitor. There's no need to use the power adapter. And while the laptop is supplying power to the portable monitor, I could use the available USB Type-C port to have pass-through charging for my phone or any other device that charges by USB-C. And if you have an older laptop that doesn't have a usable USB Type-C port, or if it doesn't even have a USB Type-C port in general, you do have the option to connect the MageDok monitor using a full-size HDMI cable. You just have to supply it with power using the included power adapter. Right now, the monitor is connected to my laptop, and if I go to switch the inputs, you can see it's set to Type-C, and if you look at the bottom right, it shows it's running at the full resolution 2560 by 1600 at 144 Hz in a 16 by 10 aspect ratio. Using the monitor with my PS5 was a joy to use. Everything was super fluid and responsive thanks to the 1 millisecond response time. Now, even though the monitor is rated for up to 144 Hz, on the PS5 is limited to 120 Hz, so I was easily able to hit that 120 Hz maximum. It's awesome for gaming. And if you don't want to take your laptop with you, you could just connect the monitor to your phone. I have the Samsung S24 Ultra right now, and all I have to do is supply power with the included power adapter. I don't need to bring my laptop, and I have access to Samsung DeX. And since this is a touchscreen monitor, I could just go ahead and launch any app, browse, or do anything I want really effortlessly and conveniently. You can also quickly switch inputs, especially if you're waiting for a large game download on your console. If you need a monitor with touchscreen functionality, the implementation on here is really smooth, fluid, and easy to use, and I actually found myself using it way more than I thought I would. I was really happy with the screen's performance. So we have a 16-inch screen with a 2K resolution. Now MageDok puts this as a matte finish, but I kind of have to disagree. I find that this is more of a glossy finish, and you can see that when I use the flashlight on my phone, you can see a decent amount of reflections, more than I would typically find on a matte finish type of screen. We have 178 degrees viewing angle, and that's really good. You can go to the extreme corners and still see the screen pretty easily. There's also 1 millisecond response time and 400 nits, so this gets plenty bright, especially if you're going to be using it in an indoor environment. But if it's going to be near a window or a bright light source, you may have to reconsider that or just kind of angle it away. It's also great having the 2K resolution, and when I was looking at these movie trailers, I set it to 1440p at 60 frames per second. Everything was nice and fluid. Now, coming from using OLED screens, I did notice that the blacks are not as deep, of course, as you would find with OLED. Very hard to match. But if you're not someone who generally uses OLED, it's not something that's really going to bother you, and I got used to it pretty quickly. However, if you're watching movies with really dark scenes, you'll definitely notice when you have horizontal bars at the top and at the bottom that, it's not absolute black, or it could be a little bit blacker. The speakers on here get very loud, so I'm going to start at 50%. 70%, 100%. So you can hear that gets very loud. So we have two 1-watt speakers. Now it doesn't sound too tinny. These are not the worst sounding speakers I've heard. So you can actually use these in a pinch to watch movies, play games like I had it when I was connected to the PS5. It works perfectly for that. To access the menu settings, there's two ways to do it. One is to press the menu button on the side. You could cycle through one of the menu subsections and then click into it and start making your changes. But I'm going to exit out of there. There's a much easier way. Use two fingers, drag down from the bottom right corner. That pops the menu up, and this is a much easier way to go ahead and modify your settings. So you can change brightness on the fly and also the volume level, and you can also turn on this kind of warm light mode if you'll be using it at night. There's quicker ways to access volume and brightness, which I'll get into later. Now you can also go into this section to change the type of viewing mode. So we have this general use here, movie mode, picture mode, gaming mode. We have I'm not sure what that is for, maybe for text. And then we have this eco mode. I'll just put it back to the general use. And then we can also change the color temperature. So either user temperature, 6500K, 9300K. So you could dial it in as you see fit. And then you also have options to change these settings here. You could, looks like, tint and some other stuff. I don't play around with that. And then we can also go into the input. So Type-C, mini DisplayPort, and HDMI 1. And lastly, in the major settings or general settings, we can turn HDR on or off. We can also flip the monitor 180 degrees if we'll be mounting it on some kind of arm using the VESA mounting feature. You can also turn DCR on, or dynamic contrast ratio, so it just adjusts based on whatever content you're viewing. I don't generally use that. And you can turn FreeSync on or off. So very easy to go ahead and modify the settings and just reset everything back. The volume can be adjusted by pressing the down button, and when the volume menu pops up, you can increase it up or down. Now, if you press the plus button, it's going to bring up the brightness, and you can adjust it down or up. So it's easy to switch on the fly. So while basically every aspect of this monitor has been great for me so far, the only thing I'm really missing is the ability to have it stand, fully upright when it's in horizontal mode, or to stand it up vertically, because as it stands right now, I would have to invest in a VESA type of mount or monitor arm to get that functionality. So the MageDok 16-inch 2K monitor, or model MG160-QT01, has been fantastic so far. I actually didn't realize how much I would use the touch functionality on her. Most other monitors that I have lack that, but since having it, it's made it a breeze to just, play and pause YouTube videos if I have a call coming in and I don't have to actually move my mouse over from my other monitor screen. Gaming has been a joy on here thanks to the 144 Hz refresh rate and 1 millisecond response time. Everything is lightning quick quick and fluid. So whether you're using a PS5, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, or your laptop, it will connect to it all. And if you need the monitor for mixed use such as media consumption or productivity, it's great with the 178 degrees viewing angle. The built-in speakers also work very well if you want to watch movies or watch YouTube on the side while you're working. You just want some kind of background noise, and the image quality is really sharp at 2K quality. So if you're interested in picking up the MageDok 16-inch 2K monitor, I'm going to leave some links down below to pick one up, and if you use my coupon code DEM, you'll get an additional 12% off the official MageDok website. If you found this video helpful, please consider checking out some of my other tech review videos. I'll review a bunch of different tech products, so I'm sure you'll find something you like. And if I can ask a huge favor, if you did find this video helpful, please consider liking and subscribing. It truly, truly does mean a lot to me, and I do appreciate your support, but I'll see you in the next one soon.